Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an AMX 13F3AM. It's the Tier 6 French SPG. It's located on the southwest spawn of Highway under the command of JohnnieP. Now this is based on the AMX 13 chassis, the same chassis used for the light tank, and the winner of the light tank competition. And France made quite a lot of these and they sold them around the world as an export. It was quite a successful light artillery, and the reason really being it's got a 155mm howitzer and quite a good punch, 700 alpha on this one. The real artillery was actually made for the purposes of being air transportable. And yes, because it was on the AMX 13-ton chassis of 13 tons in weight, it was actually quite successful. And it's an open Arty, which means that it can only carry 2 personnel, the commander and the driver. They're the only ones who could be carried in the vehicle, one sat behind the other. But the rest would have to carry around, or the rest of the crew, the gun bunnies, would have to go around in a truck that would accompany the Arty. But of course that also would carry all the shells that they needed. And that Cromwell, he's staying in a very Arty safe position, but every time he pulls back he's getting into an Arty unsafe position. And he just got hit. And he lost nearly all of his health in that one shot. And now he's been wiped out by our Striv M4257. So very bad move, pulling backwards and forwards like that. It actually cost him. You see, JohnnieP was right on the ball. He knew when it was the right moment to fire for the shell to fly over the distance just as the Cromwell pulled back, and he took the full brunt of that shell. It must have been I think it would probably be a penetrating shot at that, because for him to lose nearly all those hit points that quickly, I reckon it was a penetrating shot. Well, he's going to try and go for this KV2 now. Rounds out. Oh no, it's going to fall behind him. It did. He pulled forward just at the wrong moment. Now, it has got quite a long reload. Normally it's about 31 seconds, but JohnnieP's got it down to 26.92. He's not using premium consumables either. Usually most players use premium consumables as instead of a fire extinguisher, but you can see JohnnieP here is actually using 2 repair kits and 1 first aid kit. And he just got some splash damage on an OI for 182 hit points and some stun assist afterwards. Got a T-3485 there, threatening our Tiger 131, but he's actually firing against the P-43 Biz. We're almost loaded. He's just killed the P-43 Biz, lining him up for the shot. Rounds out. He's just going to pull away, but it's a kill shot anyway. 200 hit points. It went right up his jacksie, and he's out the game. I'll bet he regrets that he didn't run away the moment he killed that P-43. Okay, a little closer to home, we've got a Mario Kart running around near the fuel station. Well, it's not near the fuel station, but near the centre line. And he's just been finished off by our Cromwell. There's a Type 64, a T-52 and a Panzer IV's, the Schmaltern, somewhere in the centre line area. And the 64's come into view. I should say the Type, because most people call it the Type. Can't hit that T-34, but if he pulls through that gap, we might be able to. It's lining him up for a shot. Rounds out. This looks good. Well, if he was still near that spot when it landed, then yes, he would have been splashed. Now, the splash radius, if I'm correct, is around about 8 meters. It is 8 meters, yes, burst radius. There's the Schmaltern, the side skirts, and that horrible turret, which is very difficult, dangerous little medium tank, that one. But it's a premium, so you don't see them all that often, and Wargaming hasn't put them on sale for quite some time. And he's very close now, which means it's very difficult for JohnnieP to actually get a shot. And surprisingly, nobody's guarding the base. And that T-52 is heading in the opposite direction to try and deal with our guys up in the northwest corner. And that splash was for 49 hit points. Unfortunately, that Schmaltern's getting closer and closer. That T-52 is a splash kill if you can get the shell near him. And he's dead. Okay, there's the type. Right at the edge of the map. JohnnieP is almost loaded, but I think he's going to need that shell for a shotgun. Because I'm pretty sure that Panzer IV Schmaltern is very, very close to him now. Rounds out on the type. Oh, that was a splash kill. Landed on his rear, or near his rear, and blew him away. So they're one tank down on the enemy at the moment. They've managed to clear out most of the tanks in the town centre. Just one T-34 85 that still to kill from there. There's the Hellcat. Just crossed the water. Round out on him. Looks good. And he killed it! It suddenly appeared. I wonder if that was a arson job. Did he actually set fire to it? It took some time for the hull to appear. The wreck. Unfortunately, we just lost our Tiger 131. There's the IKV-65-2, and we're still a few seconds away from being able to fire. So we'll lose sight of that IKV. Yep. So, both the ARL V49 and the Cromwell are returning to our cap area to deal with that Schmaltern, who must be... I can't understand why he hasn't tried to cap or to find JohnnieP, but he was last seen in that gully. I think the Cromwell's going in to have a look to find out where he is. It's very odd that he didn't come up to the cap. I felt sure that JohnnieP was going to have to shotgun to defend himself. Of course, the AMX 13 F3 AM is actually very easy to shotgun with, because even though it's got a very long barrel with the top gun, it is very fast, and so you're able to get close to your target. And that was a lovely shot, very close to the IKV. He just pulled under the bridge, so it was a bit difficult to get him under there, but he splashed him. Still picked up 178 hit points there in the process. Unfortunately, we lost the tank destroyer in the town, so it's now 3 versus 5. So we are at a bit of a disadvantage, and we still don't know where that Schmaltern is. And I wonder if he's flipped over. I wonder if he's on his side somewhere, and that's why he didn't come up, because he accidentally went over, tried to climb up somewhere and flipped. Cromwell's looking for him. Well, you can see JohnnieP is aiming where he thinks the Cromwell's going to spot something. Oh, no, there's the enemy M44. And it's very unusual to see the enemy Arty coming down here, but yep, that was going to be very, very inevitable. He was going to get taken out by one of the two that were overlooking that valley. But it tends to make me think that the other members of the team, the other members of the enemy team, are too scared to actually come up here. We haven't seen that T-34-85. We haven't seen the IKV. Both of those should have come in this direction. And it could be that they're actually guarding their cap. Maybe they're waiting for us to make a move, and they thought that the ARL and the Cromwell were up in the north. And there's the Schmaltern. He didn't turn over. He was just AFK, or maybe he was... Maybe he'd gone back to his own cap. We fire around in. Oh, it goes long. It wasn't aimed directly. I think he was expecting the Schmaltern to pull back, and it didn't. He's gone down into the dip again. And that's a bad move, because now the ARL's got down there and he's dead. The Cromwell got him. Now it's 3 versus 3, so they've lost 2 vehicles in a very short period of time. Now, who's next? The enemy does have an AMX 13 F3, and JohnnieP is just platooned with the ARL V39. They both have 3 kills already, which means they're on for a brothers in arms if they both survive the battle. And there's the IKV. And he's actually a lot closer, but maybe he's going after the Cromwell. We can't get a shot into there. We've got a red line. And that's because of the ridge line. The ridge line goes down, or the hill goes down at quite an acute angle. And we can't loop the shell over that angle because the arc of the AMX 13 F3 is very shallow. So the only way we can get a shot on them is to actually go down, get close. But there's something we can't get away from. It's T-3485 and he's killed it. JohnnieP managed to get a quick shot in, a snapshot to kill the T-3485, but we lost the Cromwell to that T-34, so it's still... Well, it's actually 2-1 now, because the Cromwell, I believe, killed the IKV. I think it was the Cromwell. Yeah, I'm certain it was the Cromwell who killed the IKV. So, sad that he was focusing on the IKV, got taken out by the T-3485, but JohnnieP was alert. And now JohnnieP, well, you can see this AMX 13 chassis, it's very quick. And with the stock gun, which is actually a lot shorter, it's still a very accurate gun, but it's even lighter, which makes this a very fast little vehicle. And in fact, actually, it's able to troll some super heavy tanks simply because it can get below their gun depression and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't shoot it. All they can do is try and push it into the any wall or any obstruction and try to get around it so that they can either flip it or push it away. With that smaller stock gun, it can be very deadly. Now, the ARL's going to go and look over the edge, and we've looked through the bushes. I suspect that we're both going to come across him very, very shortly. There he is! Okay, he's been spotted. Can we get a shot? No, we've got a red line, but the ARL's put a round into him. Looks like he's aiming at the ARL. We don't want him to kill the ARL. Oh, and the ARL kills him anyway. Because that means there's a brothers in arms. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's the first class tanker for JohnnieP in the AMX 13 F3 AM. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 12 in total in that battle. And he also picked up a brothers in arms because he was in platoon with somebody else who got at least 3 kills as well. The ARL. In fact, they both got 4 kills apiece at the end of that game. And the win rate for the game was 2-6-2-7. So let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that the high scorer, in fact, actually was the ARL V39. Was it Kriegsmeister or Kriegsmesser? He managed to get 1,884 hit points of damage off the 4 kills, whilst JohnnieP managed 1,449. And that Cromwell, who got killed, 1,600 hit points. When it came to kills, obviously they both shared the same amount, 4 kills. And when it came to base XP, well, it was the Cromwell who came out on top. He got 1,098. The ARL managed to get 1,009, and JohnnieP managed to get 904. He fired 11 rounds of 155mm ammunition. He got 3 direct hits but no penetrations, so he didn't penetrate that Cromwell when he fired at it from long range. But he did get 10 splash, damage of 1,449 hit points, and all of it was at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, and did 1,118 hit points of stun assist off 6 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 44,576 credits, and after ammunition resupply, the ammo is fairly cheap. It's 33,576 credits that he took away. He earned 1,356 XP, and there was no multiplier, so that's all the experience points he took away. But a very, very good game in terms of snapshots as well, because he did do some snapshots, some very accurate shots on that Cromwell B to badly damage him. That's the shot, I think, is it that one, or was it the other Cromwell shot? But certainly he did a lot of damage to that tank. Just at the moment it didn't want to get hit, and that enabled our team to put him out of the game. So well done there for JohnnieP. If you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.